Live.
All righty.
See what we got. I will let you know when we are good. And I can never tell. We might be lagging. Okay, we're moving. All right, I think we're live. Let me check in. What's going on, guys? Send out the bot blast here. Okay. Yeah, we are good. What is going on, everybody? We'll give everyone a minute to jump in. Had a lot of new people come in. Guys, if you're new, drop a comment. Say what's up. Anybody who jumps on, say what's going on. Very, very excited about tonight's interview. This is going to be a real blast, man. Like, shit. This guy has, I've watched him over the last few months, and it's just been incredible seeing the amazing amounts of results. It was almost like every single week he's like, boom, close this, bam, did this, bam. Like, I mean, it was just crazy. So I wanted to get him on here, guys. What's up, John? What's up, David? Wanted to get him on here, introduce you guys to Lyle. He's an absolute badass. He's inside the Crusader program, and I've come to know him real well. He's a total, he's a rising star here in the marketing agency world. So Lyle, man, go ahead, introduce yourself, man. Talk a bit about your background.
What's up, guys? So yes, name's Lyle Horst, like Nick said. So background, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Have done, tinkered in I call it tinkered, experimented in a lot of different things. I know I used to fix iPhones for people, and then I'd buy and sell them on eBay. So that was one of the first things. I worked, I mowed people's lawns when I was young. So yeah. I did all this stuff, trying to think. But so anyway, kind of started, I went through a lot of different jobs that I didn't really like. And I knew that I didn't want to work a job. But I kind of got stuck in working a job, not on purpose. I got a job for some money, and then next thing I know, I'm just doing this, right?
Yep.
Then I got married, and I'm like, man, I need to find something different. So I started looking up a bunch of stuff online. Started looking up how to build WordPress websites, because I was like, there got to be something good with this on the internet. This was 2014-ish, 2013, 2014. Built a couple experiment WordPress websites, I took a small course on how to build review sites, built a review site that had a bunch of teeth whitening products on it. And I reviewed them. Now I didn't actually buy any of the products. I just took reviews and copied and pasted and wrote this whole article, this whole page, got it to rank in Google. Made a couple $100 in Amazon affiliate commissions from that. And I'm like, okay, this online thing is real. Then the algorithm changed with the SEO thing, because I had it ranking on the bottom of the first page. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. It fell. This was a month after I just got it there, using a bunch of spammy backlinks that now derank, which is
the good stuff, right? The fun thing.
Yeah. So I was so that was my introduction. And then I tried network marketing for a little bit, learned a lot about personal development, spent a lot more money than I had. I'm like, I need to figure something out. I went back into affiliate marketing, doing higher ticket selling, coaching. And I started making a little bit of money there, quit my job, started doing agency stuff, or got a couple clients, but not a lot.
So you were doing some of this affiliate stuff on the side while you were working a full-time job?
Yes.
Yeah, man, I love that. Guys, anyone who's watching, this is how it starts. You just have to tinker around. You find so many things. And back in those years, I'm sure you didn't have some of the amazing groups and communities that are out there today. I mean, I know when I started even 2.5 years ago, I didn't know this shit existed. This
when
is
I
mode stuff,
dude, when I first started messing around with that affiliate marketing, it was nothing. It was YouTube. It was Googling. It was reading blogs. It was trying to figure out stuff. But there now that was 2014, 2014-ish, 2013-ish. So I think there was like Facebook ads were just coming out back then, but I didn't even know about Facebook ads. I knew I was on Facebook. I don't know why I never thought that, because I'm sure I seen ads back then, but I never even considered it. So when the SEO thing crashed for me, I started doing Bing ads and Google AdWords ads, but I couldn't make it profitable. But I got my feet wet. Yeah. But yeah, so did network marketing for a year, and then a year later got into high ticket affiliate marketing, selling a coaching program, which this now is like, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something, or 2 years ago. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I made, a couple $1,000s. I quit my job. Soon after that, I had a couple agency clients with the affiliate marketing that I was doing, which was a lot of work. So we were doing this webinar, but we were taking them to an application page, and then everything had to be closed via the phone. So that's how we were closing them. And I had another guy that I was partnered with at the time, and I was doing the ads, he was doing the sales calls. It worked decent. I thought that I didn't like sales. I thought that I sucked at. I just didn't think I could do sales, right? And then so I had a couple agency clients. Anyway, our ad costs started going up for that webinar. We decided to build a course. I spent a long period over the next year trying to build a course and stuff, which didn't really go super well, and ended up losing a couple clients. And it kind of put myself into a tight. So I'd hit 15 grand, I'd hit 10 grand. And then a couple months later, basically nothing, right? I had one or two clients, and, or I had 3 clients. And then right over Funnel Hacking Live, which was just earlier, this year, this is
5 months ago.
Yeah. 6 months ago. Right. So I was like, I need to focus on this agency thing. So I decided I'm going to go all in on agency. Had an e-commerce client that we were scaling, and I ran him out of stock, and he called right after Funnel Hacking Live. And he's like, hey man, we need to hold off marketing for at least 2 months because our China products are a month away. And I'm like, man. So I had that, just everything. So I was in Florida for a month and a half on vacation over that period of time. And everything started crashing down at the same time while on work/vacation. But anyway, had a check bounce and different stuff over that period of time. Had my bank account for a little bit, short period of time. It was at negative $3,000. And I remember looking at it, and I was like, this is crazy. Now, I had already been self-employed, hadn't been working a job for, 8 or 9, probably 8 or 9 months at this time. It was a while. I had already hit 15 grand in a month.
Yeah.
But I was at this spot. And I was like, what are you doing? And I was I had been through a bunch of different courses, a bunch of different stuff. And I was like, do I want to do e-commerce? Do I want to do affiliate marketing? Do I want to do the agency? What? And I had my hands in a little bit of everything. And that was the worst thing, because nothing that I was doing was 100%. It was I was doing a bunch of stuff half-ass.
Yeah. Man, that's one of the biggest problems, man. Keep going with that, but I wanted to come back and make sure I touch upon that, because I've been thinking about that a lot recently.
Yeah. So it's still something that's still a struggle. It's focusing. Biggest thing I took away. So I went to Funnel Hacking Live, Russell Bronson's event. For everyone that knows who Russell Bronson is, he's a genius. And I took a couple things away from there. Number one was I need to focus on one thing. Doesn't matter what it is. I need to just focus on one thing and go all in on that, and cut out the rest of the crap, the rest of the distractions. They can wait until later. So that was one thing. The other thing was I need to sell something differently. So the second biggest takeaway I had, which was actually in a little like free booklet that I got at the event. I don't remember which speaker they had those like packets there with like the free resources, that this little black, like the big idea booklet. And it said, if someone can Google your service and price check, you're offering something that is like, you're offering the wrong thing. So I was selling Facebook ads at the time. Which I kept getting this, like, is it worth that much for Facebook ads? Well, like, hey, go ahead, hire someone else. I'll talk to you in a month, right? Okay. Like, but it was so right over that time, I was like, I need to figure out how to sell. I'm a decent marketer, but I suck at selling. Like, that's one thing that was always killing me. Every time I get on the phone or in person or whatever, I just like freeze up. So let's fast forward back. Let's rewind back a couple months before this. I have a friend, Scott Thiemann, who happened to be following, I don't know how, he's seen an ad or something for a John Logar event in New York City. And he called me. He's like, hey man, I'm in New Jersey, you're in Pennsylvania. It's not that far. Do you want to go to the event with me? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. So I go to this event, and at the event, John's talking about, he told this story about someone that closed like a $45,000 website as his first job that was going to quote like $6,000, but then he showed it to John, and John's like, no, you need to quote like 45 grand. And the customer said yes, like instantly. And I was like, really? Like, that stuff happens? Anyway, we did these email campaigns and stuff at the event, and Nick here, or his team, closed like a client or two at the event.
Yeah, man, we closed like 9,000, 12,000 that day, because I wrote an email. We had a list that I had ready to go. Threw it out, and I've been working with Kyle and teaching him our sales process. Kyle's my main sales guy here. Yeah, at the event, dude, he was like taking calls, going out. Guys, it can happen that fast. One email, straight to a phone call, into a closing. Like, I mean, it literally can if you have the right email sequences and the right closing process. I remember you talking about that, man, and that was definitely a fun day and pretty fucking cool to see.
So I remember John talking about how you guys were closing sales, and I was just like, this is crazy. I can't even figure out how to get a client, but I know I can get them results. And I remember going out to the hall to go to the bathroom, and your guy was around the corner talking, and I like snuck over to the corner, and I didn't want to be like creepy, but I was like listening to a sales call, and I was like, dang, this is good. And he like closed him, and I'm like, this is on like $3,000 a month or something. And I'm trying to close people on $1,000 a month, and they're like, yeah, this is too much. That's where I knew I had to figure a sales process out. So coming out of Funnel Hacking Live, knowing I need to figure that out, Nick Robbins, I was following you ever since this event, and I seen you launch your Agency Sales Krusaders course, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it. I like bought it instantly. I wouldn't have even had to. You did like a training, a free training that I watched, but you could have just been like, Lyle, I have a course, and I would have been like, this is gold, because I knew Nick's the real deal from like previously, like talking to him and seeing him at the John Logar event. Nick is the real deal when it comes to that. He's built a huge agency.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I remember you were telling me about that, dude. And I love that Kyle story, because it's so true. And sometimes it's amazing, guys. Like, some of you guys watching this, you might be really struggling, beating your head against the wall, not knowing what to do, not knowing why you're getting sales, thinking, I bet there's a lot of people. Give me a 1 down in the comment section if you feel like Lyle, or you know you can get results and you just are struggling to sell consistently, have any type of regular thing. I would love to see that. And it's also the same thing for the new people who come on who think it's so big. And I remember when I thought it was so big too. It's normal, just so you guys know, it's fucking normal for everyone to think it's big. Of course it's big. You've never done it before, right? You know, if you are brand new. And seeing those things can really, really strike a massive light bulb. There's something about seeing somebody do something in person, or hearing about it, or knowing that it's true, that just like, you know, all your shit breaks down. And I even have experience of this, because when I joined Alex Becker's mastermind, and those who watch me a lot know I'm a huge Alex Becker fan. I'm in his Hero Black Card group. He's taught me so much about selling and webinar stuff. But when I got in there and I saw people were doing like freaking, 800,000 a month, all of a sudden, like, and they're like 22 years old. I'm like, shit, my mind was like, fuck, man, I feel like the little guy in the room here, And it was weird because that got me motivated to get going. So sometimes you just got to be around it. I think it's so important, guys. Yeah, we got lots of ones popping in here. We got it's so important, guys, to surround yourself with people who are doing bigger things than you where you want to be. Like, I cannot express that enough. When you join these groups, when you're in the Crusader group here, network with people, meet them. That's how Lyle ended up getting into our world, into my world, all this type of stuff, because he knew Scott Thiemann and I knew Scott Thiemann through Business Not Bullshit group. And, all this stuff kind of stacks up. And that's how I met John Logar. And I met so many other people who've changed my life through networking and all this stuff, man. So I love that. And it's so important to get some of those barriers just destroyed. So once you got, the program, let's talk about, because you've just had like a boom. It's like every fucking week since then, man. And then what we're going to get into, guys, we're going to share exact strategies. We're going to talk about some really good actionable tips here, man. But let's talk about what happened, afterwards and how we can, give some value here, make sure to get some people rocking and rolling.
So back against the wall, I watched Nick's free training first, and I was like, this is really good. This is the whole sales process. Now, I instantly bought the course, but I didn't get time to go watch the videos right away because I got straight to work. Now I was already prospecting with some cold email. I already was getting clients into the pipeline using a lot of Nick's strategies that I've heard him talk about just from giving free value, right? But I didn't know how to close these people, right? I turned around and closed $7,000 worth of clients that following week.
Fucking huge, man. $7,000 in a week right afterwards. It's amazing what a sales process will do and what you can do when you follow the same thing over and over again, huh, man? Like, I remember when I started figuring it out and I'm like, this is it. When I nailed it, it was just like, boom, and
put my bank account right back in the green, and I was never going back.
Yeah, I love it, man. And you've exploded now up to, 25,000 a month. What'd you end up finishing at? Are you off to a hot start this month, or what'd you finish at last month?
28,600.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you off to a good start this month?
We have I know a $5,000 payment. I think a $5,000 payment and like a 3 came through already.
I love it, man. And I love seeing that you've turned this into multiple things too, because it's not just Facebook. Those of you who know and follow me know I run, Facebook ads is what I typically focus on. But you can turn this into SEO stuff. You can sell stuff through website design. It's all about following a process. It's literally because it's not about like what you're selling. It's about the psychology that goes in behind it and how you're setting things up. So one thing you brought up here, man, I want to touch because I've been talking about this a lot, and all of you guys listening, you need to really be paying attention when I talk about this. You talked about no longer selling Facebook ads. You were selling something different. Let's talk about that, because those who are inside the private group know I've been really talking about this a lot, because when you sell Facebook ads, you're a commodity. So let's talk about what you meant by that.
So the best example I can think of is Alex Hormozy, or however you say his last name.
He's a freaking man.
What does he sell? It's Facebook ads and funnels, right?
Yep. So
he was at Funnel Hacking Live, and what did he do? Like 30 million last year?
He's out of freaking control. I've never seen anything like it.
I think it was 30 million selling to gyms.
Broke gyms. $4,000 a month for 4 months, and then a $93,000 3-year contract. It's unbelievable. To gyms, guys. And we're not talking like giant franchise gyms with huge corporations.
Gyms.
Yeah, we're talking about your local boot camp motherfuckers. Like, because he's selling, like, it's crazy. So keep going with that. I love that you brought him up, because he's his presentation at Funnel Hacking Live was incredible, and what he's doing in the agency world is changing the game. I mean, he's literally changing the game right now and just killing it.
So he goes, and so I'm looking at what he sold, and I'm like, wow, he's just doing Facebook ads and funnels and these same stuff we're selling. Same stuff. If you're doing direct response marketing, if you're doing Facebook ads, if you're doing funnels, same stuff to gyms. That's the deliverable, but that's not what he's selling. Mm-hmm. He's selling gym launch. Now, if you want to Google gym launch to price check gym launch, what will you find?
Yep.
gym launch. That's it. That's
program.
all.
He's selling an experience, a transformation, a long-term program that gets people in, almost like a membership style thing, and he's making it into an exclusive club. This is really, really important, guys. This is where the agency world's heading, in my opinion, if you really want to separate yourself. Because again, to take it even further, Lyle saying Facebook ads, commodity. Everybody does Facebook ads, right? Not everybody. Just so you guys know, there's plenty of opportunity. There's unlimited opportunity. So don't take any of this, Facebook ads are dead. It's not. It's about, you need to sell differently. You need to differentiate yourself. You need to differentiate your product, and you need to productize your service. And that's what we're talking about here. Productize your service is so important on so many levels. And what do I mean by that? In case you guys are wondering, productizing your service means making it in a way that's scalable and turning into almost like a product level where you've got something you can deliver that's the same thing every time, and that you can get the same amount of results for the same types of people, because then it makes it so much easier to duplicate, so much easier to scale. You start to really know your industry and your niche. You start to become unbelievably good at delivering that service. I talk about this all the time in here, but stop trying to be like a full service digital agency when you're a one-man show and you're just getting started. Get good at one thing, right? And then sell on to that. So I love that you brought that up, man, because that positioning is so key in order to set up, because you're selling some big deals, right?
Depends what you call big deals.
7,000 a month, 10,000 a month, right? Those are solid ass deals, dude. For this world, you could use a couple of those. Like, guys, would you be excited if you could get a couple $7,000 month deals coming in?
Yeah. So I'm charging a setup fee as well.
I love it.
That's just free money.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about some. I want to get into some of the positioning stuff, and we'll get into some sales for you guys here. But if you guys didn't quite grasp what I meant when we just went over that, productizing your service, selling the program versus selling the ads, rewatch this again, ask questions in the group. It's something you're going to see me talking about a lot, because I don't see any other courses or trainings or whatever talking about this stuff. Any other people really. So they might be. I just haven't seen much. But so let's talk about, your favorite ways for starting calls. That's the one thing we always want to start with. Everybody wants to start with that, right? How do I generate a phone call? How do I set up a schedule? What are the favorite things that you're doing right now?
One of my most profitable ones has been LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I have done some cold email. I have also done some Facebook ads.
Yeah.
My targeting for business to business, I had a client that I helped get into a bunch of stores. He had large email lists of his target audience from trade shows. So we uploaded it to Facebook, and it was very successful campaigns. And I was like, this should work for any business to business. So I did the same exact thing for any of you guys that are doing cold email. I scraped big lists, uploaded them to Facebook, targeted my ideal business owners. That was my targeting. So I landed 2 clients from Facebook ads. So the ROI was huge, even though I spent quite a bit of money to get them.
Yeah.
What else? So that's
LinkedIn, guys. I mean, that can be
LinkedIn is huge.
It's killer. You get good on LinkedIn, man. You can just crush it. Absolutely murder it in the game. You got to have a LinkedIn strategy. Guys, let me know in the comments if you guys have give me a 1 if you've got a good LinkedIn, and a 2 if you don't. I'm very curious, because LinkedIn is huge. And you might hear some people saying that, like, oh, it's overcrowded or oversaturated. Bullshit. Cold email still works. Cold calling still works. I'm not really a big fan of cold calling. I think calling to follow up on your messaging is really, really big. But I don't think you need a direct cold call. But LinkedIn is huge, and you got to be on there in 2018 for B2B stuff. So with that, let's talk. I mean, without going specific into your messaging, are you just asking them for an appointment? What does your messaging look like, just from a high level here? We don't need to go.
Yeah. So high level, if they're interested. Now, I do have a video sales letter and a page with the video sales letter on.
Yeah.
People that go through that, which I try to get them to do that before the call, are much more positioned on the qualifying call. I've noticed a huge difference in framing, which comes partially, sales. This book
Oh, my favorite, bro. We're on the same wavelength. That is my all-time favorite sales book. I love it. It blew my mind. It's different. It's so much different than your traditional sales books, and that's what matters. For anyone who doesn't see what he put up there, it's Pitch Anything by a guy named Oren Klaff, Klaff. Amazing must-read book. And honestly, it's not even just about sales. That's just good for life, because there's stuff in there that will help you with your relationships, picking up girls, talking to your friends, whatever you might want to do, on how to really influence people. What was I going to say? Okay. So yeah, keep going. Sorry.
So once I get a response, usually it's some type of send me more info or whatever. Yep. I will send them a link to my video sales letter, and I will say, please watch this. On this page is all of the information you would need. After you watch this, let's schedule a time to get on the call to see if I can even help you.
Yeah.
Which has been very good for actually getting them on the phone. Because the fact is, if I don't think I can help them, I don't want to work with them. If they're a broke business, I don't want to work with them. That to see if I can even help you, I will then leverage on the call. When I get on the call, first thing, 2 seconds.
I love that you're pushing them through the video sales letter. I talk about this all the time inside the private stuff. A lot of you guys watching have probably been in my marketing funnels, screwing up all my lookalike audiences. I see all you guys, screwing my lookalikes. But yeah, I see all. No, it's all good. But selling through video is a must. There's so many different ways that you can utilize video within this time. It's like literally a must in order to really catch businesses, get in front of them. And I like how you brought up the positioning aspect, because getting them to watch the video sales letter ahead of time is so big. When people come into our funnel and they come into our world, they're literally going through everything. They're running from ads, they're scheduling with us, and a bunch of noise out there in the market. But because they've watched the video, they've seen everything, they've already coming in predisposed, like, damn, this guy's legit. He went through the time to build this video and build a sales letter, and he positioned it properly, and it's got me sold, man. Like, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you're sending in. So basically you're just, sending a direct message or a direct message asking for, hey, do you want more XYZ, or can I help you with this? Boom, send me more info. Boom, you're sending them a video sales letter, has the information on it, has a schedule link, and you're getting them in through there. You're bringing them on the phone. And then from there, you're basically just running through the process we talked about. Guys, just so you know, my process, I think I give away I go over qualifying calls and sales calls at a high level here inside this group. Like what he's talking about, part of it's in here already.
It is. So this is literally in Nick's it's in Nick's page.
It's in the free group. Yeah, it's in the announcements over there, I go way deeper into it, obviously, inside the course and the training and everything. We break everything down and use examples and all that. But you got to have some sort of, roadmap, or else you just get lost in the call. And the way you structure everything is so important. And that's awesome, man, that you were able to do that.
Who here jumped on the initial call with someone and the first thing they do is ask you a bunch of questions about your agency?
Guys, I would love to hear the answer to that as well.
Type number 3 in the chat if that's happened to you.
If they go in and just start asking you questions about
this was my problem, my biggest problem. Now, I personalized the whole scripting, everything for me. I'm not a robot on the phone. Well, I am, but it's personalized to me. I don't sound exactly like Nick or whoever. I went off a script and then made it my own, right? And
that's what you got to do.
So exactly, you have to be yourself. You have to be creative in this game,
dude. And that's the same thing. Hold on, I'm gonna let you finish, Lyle, but this is really important, guys, for all of you. I know a lot of you guys watching. A lot of you guys are getting information. You're learning from people, which I love. Keep doing that. I'm still learning, and I'm obsessed with training, and I spend several hours every week training. But when you see templates, you see things like this, like you got to experiment with things a little bit. The key is to start understanding the big framework, the framework of how things go, right? Because what I go through how to outline how it is, and then you kind of just add your own little touch on it based on what you're selling, what you're doing. And this is the same thing if you get cold email templates or you get any type of templates of anything. Right? Like if you just put them up, if people want, like they expect everything to just work instantly. And it's like, sometimes, a lot of times that can happen, but sometimes you got to actually, do some work, put your own touch on it, make it go. Same thing with Facebook ads, funnels. I just want a proven campaign that's work. Well, every market's different and everything's a little different. Like, we have things that are proven to work in a lot of ways, but it might not work the same here. So really start to understand the fundamentals, guys. And that's really what I like to train on inside this free group here, is teach the fundamentals, that will really help you go. And obviously we give templates and exact things away too, but just as an overall rule for life, guys, look at the fundamentals of how things work. If you want to stick around in this game, if you don't want to be a fly-by-night person, you really want to be in this for the long term, you must start learning the fundamentals of how things work. That goes for both sales as well as for marketing and advertising. So keep going. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in on that.
100%. So in order to avoid those questions.
Yeah, we got several threes, man. So talk about that. I love it because I know where you're going. I think we can talk about this.
First thing I do when I jump on the call is I set the tone. Very, very important. Now, my way of setting the tone, which is personally just for me, is Mr. Business Owner, how you doing today? Now, Pitch Anything talks about framing and setting the tone and all of that stuff. That book is amazing. So no matter what they do in the beginning of this call, I will take back the frame before we go into anything. But here is how I 99% of the time take it from the beginning, and we never even have to have that. What's up, Mr. Business Owner? So you took the time to schedule the call with me today. Here's what I'd like to accomplish on this call. So basically, here's how this call is going to go. First, I need to ask you a couple questions about your specific business to see if I think we can even help you. So I'm trying to get the frame here without them bringing up their, depending on personality, their defensive mode. So they're instantly agreeing with it and I'll say, makes sense. Yep. So I here's how this call is going to go. First, I need to ask you some questions to see if I even can help you. Does that sound good? Yes. Awesome. After that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our business and what we do. And then I'm going to take the information I get from the questions I asked you today to put together a strategy specifically for your business. And we're going to schedule another call to go over that strategy. Does that sound good? Yes. Now, I will pause a little bit here. And a lot of times they will go in and instantly start telling me about their business. Now, I will spend the next 15 or 20 minutes asking them some different questions to figure out basically, why they need marketing, why they need this, why they're here now, what their income is in their business, their profit margins, I'll figure out everything about their service, their most profitable products, or services that they're selling, their margins on it, how many are they selling a week, how many are they selling a month. I'll be writing all these numbers down. And by the end of the phone call, without asking them how much they make, I know exactly what their profit margins are. I know exactly how many they're selling. I know exactly how many new clients, how many recurring clients. I know exactly from doing the math what they're making.
Yeah.
And
but it's so with that, guys, I want to touch on something here before going too much into the qualifying calls and that. Like, setting the agenda is the number one first mistake that so many salespeople mistake on. They screw up. They don't set the agenda. Here's a number one rule you got to have in sales. You must always be in control. You must always run the conversation. You must always be in control. Always, 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 always. And it's very easy to get backpedal. The other day I took a sales call the other day on a Saturday for something. And, it's been, I still, obviously do webinars and sales and stuff, but I was on a sales call the other day and it was for a newer service and product that wasn't local business agency related. It was a part of a different agency for webinars and stuff. And one of the questions was, or at one point they're like, oh, your overwhelm is too much, blah, blah, blah. We backtracked on it and that could throw a lot of people off. It's like, oh, it's too much. I don't know what you're saying. She was older, everything like that. But then once we were able to reverse it and, get right back in control and just, slowed it down, get the tempo in. Like, you really got to be back in control and don't over apologize. Like, these are just some big things I want to go over. Set the agenda. Don't apologize for anything, like, ever. Make sure you're always in control. Don't be backpedaling, and make sure you've always got questions for people and you're running them. Exactly like you said, you're literally, what you did was so powerful, right? Like, it was so powerful because you are eliminating any fear they might have early on by telling them how it's going to work. So that's how we do it as well. Hey man, so this is how it's going to work. I'm going to ask you some questions, get to learn more about your practice and its goals. If it makes sense, we're going to tell you more about our program and talk about that strategy. How does that sound? Great. And one of the things we always say over here is actually, I don't work off any kind of script. I like to learn it every single call. I don't like to work off any kind of a script or anything. It's like, boom, straight into the script. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's so important, guys. You must learn that. Set the agenda, take control of the call, know what questions you got to ask. And I love how you brought up, you're able to discern through your questions, your line of questioning, are they a good fit and how much money do they make without asking what's your budget? The what's your budget thing, I hate that question so much. Oh, it's the littlest as possible, especially when you're talking to local business guys. When you're talking to bigger clients and corporate clients and things like that, and you need to know budget and they're actually real budgeting, things like that, it's a different game. But when you're talking to a local business guy, that's always, the least amount as possible, right? And so you can get those lines of questions. You should know whether or not they're good fits through your lines of questioning because of the questions you ask them. What are you doing for marketing? What does that look like? What are your margins? What's the case value? That type of stuff,
100%. It's good. So I set the agenda.
Yep.
Go ask them a bunch of questions. When I'm done, I pretty much. So now I'm in control, asking them all these questions. They don't even think about taking back control by the end of this. At the end of me getting all the information I need from them, I say, so here's basically what we do. We help businesses right like yours experiencing problems, right like he just talked about, grow using our direct response marketing system. So what I'm going to do now, literally a 1-sentence explanation of my business. How many of you guys have spent the whole conversation trying to talk about your business? Yeah. I spend the whole conversation asking about their business, 1 sentence about what we do, just pretty much the same every time. I just tailor it a little bit based on their current problems, just to make it sound a little bit more appealing to their direct business. And then I schedule a time for the strategy call. It's going to take me about a day to put this together. Does 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. work tomorrow for you to get back on a call to go over this strategy session? So I'm setting the whole thing, setting the thing, and I'm booking it into their calendar again so they know, sending them text message reminders. If for some reason they don't answer that call, a lot of these guys have iPhones, which so do I. I'll send them a video message. What's up, Mr. Business Owner? You scheduled a time to talk with me today. So that's been very effective at getting responses with video messages.
I love video messages, dude. Personalize yourself, like humanize your connection. We're living in such a world right now where we can literally, like, you never have to talk to anybody again if you don't want to, right? Like, people are craving human connection, especially in the salespeople world. Like, this is how you start to differentiate yourself from all the other people who are selling out there and all that type of stuff. Sending videos, being comfortable with that, reaching out to people in different ways. They probably aren't getting very many freaking video messages on their phone from people who are trying to call them, like, they're just not. That's the type of shit that can really set you up, man. I love that.
Yeah. So that's the qualifying call. And then I build out a strategy for their business, which is a sales presentation that I just change a little bit of stuff in every time. And I go over that on the call. So that call, do you want me to go into that positioning on that?
We got some questions here, guys. Ask me ask questions, guys. But we got one. Andrew, what's up, man? How you doing? So how do you tell if they're not a good fit? Let's talk about the qualifying. I think so many people underqualify. Like, let's just focus on this. I know we got about 15, 20 minutes left. I want to make sure we get in, but I want to really focus on that. Like, let's talk about what's a qualified lead. You've been doing this for a little bit, or you've got some experience in the past, or you've been doing it for a little bit. Like, what do you look for to qualify? What's a good fit? Let's talk about niche as well. That's where people get caught up on all that stuff. So what would, how do you tell if they're not a good fit?
So if their mindset is not open to any offers based on, then
really quick, let's clarify what you mean by any offers.
So let's say I will ask them, so if it's a doc, I work in a couple different industries One of them is medical. I'm not quite as niche down in one industry as some people. I'm still, it's a little bit wide, but let's just say it's a doctor.
Yeah.
I will say, so when a new patient comes in, first of all, I ask them what's their most profitable patient. So when that new patient comes in, what's the first thing you do? Do you give them a consultation? Do you book them for care? What do you do? And they'll be like, oh, well, they get a consultation, but it's $400 or whatever. Yeah. I will try to qualify. I will ask them if they're willing to do different stuff that's been very successful. And a lot of times we can work something out right there, and boom, I'll move on. So now I know that they're willing to try different things that have been working in other industry, or not in other industries, but other businesses. So that's one thing. I try to figure out what they're making. If they're not making over, like if they're not making that much money, you're not going to sell a business that's making 250 grand a year, a $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month marketing package.
Yeah.
In fact, if they're making $250,000 a year, I don't know if they can justify $1,500 a month. Now, a lot of people sell them $1,500 a month, but are they able to afford that? And is it what they need in their business, or do they need other things in their business? What do they really need? So if they're making over $1 million, in my opinion, they're a good fit.
Yeah. And I want to dive a little deeper in that, because so often especially when we're getting started, getting rolling, like we feel more comfortable talking to the smaller businesses, right? The smaller businesses, you guys might have heard this before. I'm going to drill it in. I might say it every single live every Thursday for the rest of this group being around, is they are going to be your worst nightmare. There's a reason they're $250,000, right? They're most likely not good at selling. They're not going to be good at follow-up. Their entire life is going to depend on you to come in and save their fucking business. And that's not who you want to work with. I promise you guys, you want to work with people who have a back-end sales process who are good, because you got to think about the long term. So just stay away from the small guys. Keep going, bro.
So one of the clients in the 7K that I closed from Nick's initial training was one of those clients. And I should have never closed him, but the power of sales allowed me to close him. And he was a nightmare. Not willing to work with any offers. None of the stuff we ran his way worked.
Yeah.
He was the only person that ever told me I'm a bad marketer. He literally told me on the phone, Lyle, I really like you, but you're a bad marketer. And that was the moment I actually did not take his money for the following month.
Yeah.
Which he would have not lasted the month after that anyway. He probably would have tried to sue me or something. I don't know. I thought he had more patience on the phone, but I literally went down to this guy's place. I was in Sarasota, Florida. This guy was in Delray Beach. I went the whole way down there to film videos. Had a client come in to film a testimonial, which I think was his only client, and he didn't even know how to talk on camera. It was awful. Did all this work. I bent over backwards for this guy, and he still didn't want to run any of my offers. There was like one patient that came in the whole day that I was there doing all these videos, like one patient. Literally, this guy probably gets like, it was just awful, right?
Dude, the people who try and dictate your offers, guys, you start allowing people to walk all over you and dictate your offers, especially when they are doctors and local business owners and small business owners. Boom. Those are the guys that are going to be headaches. Like, you got to make sure that because it's the same thing. Like, when you stay in control, you got to stay in control in the sales process. From the very first moment you get on the phone with these guys, you got to stay in control. And that doesn't end after the sale. You need to continue staying in control with your onboarding, with your retention process, with the way you plan the follow-up, if you want to keep them for long term, which is the goal, is to keep them for the long term, right? And to build and stack up some residuals and some revenue and build a business out of this thing. Very big lesson, guys. Don't let people dictate your fucking ads. Unless they can show you like where it says legally you have to require certain things. Don't let them dictate your ads. Tell them they hired you. And especially, it's weird, these small guys really like to dictate it. I'm like, dude, your business isn't even doing $1 million a year and you're trying to tell me how to run ads. Like, you're not a good marketer, bro. Like, I don't care what you think. And I love I studied marketing like 20 years ago. It's like, yeah, me too. Like, come on, those guys are
I did marketing in college.
Yeah, like, because you learn so much there.
On the sales call, I was like, so what? Literally, it was that. He was tough. And I was like, Dr. Glenn, so why are we on the call today? Because I don't think you need me. Well, blah, blah, blah. And then he ended up paying me.
Speaking of which, that's a great question. One, the takeaway is fantastic when you start pushing back. You can't be afraid of these guys. You got to understand they are humans as well, and they need help, which is why they're on the call with you. They wouldn't have gone on the call with you if they didn't want help, didn't need it. So don't be afraid to assume your position, stick out your chest a little bit, and own it. Damn, what was I just going to say? Oh, why are we on the call? That's a great thing to start off with as well. That's one of our first questions every time. What made you take our call here? What made you schedule with us? Or if you're doing cold outreach, what made you take this call? What can we do? Start off where they are. Like, you need to figure out where they are and then where they're looking to go. Bridge the gap. I talk about it all the time. We're going to be doing a training on that probably like next week, actually, and stuff. But yeah, you always want to bridge that gap, man. So let's see. We got about 10 minutes here. We got a couple questions here I wanted to jump on. Guys, ask any other questions aloud. I mean, dude, literally like negative $3,000 to $20,000 in what, like 4 months, 3-month period here. Once we got the process going, you've just been blasting off, huh?
Yeah, it's been, I hit 10K like that, like the month after that. And then I was there for a little bit. And then the month before last was like 17, or it was above 15. I don't know exactly what. And then last month was 28.6.
Oof, just fucking killing it, man, killing it.
With another like close to $50,000 in contract. So I do month to month, but I have a couple contract services as well that are, that are there.
I love it, man. Came in, learned the sales process, it just took off. That's fucking awesome. I love they're using the video sales letter. This question is about what's the video sales letter look like versus the presentation. So David, they can be a little bit different. The video sales letter, there's a whole big explanation on that. Next Thursday, I'm going to be talking about the 7 steps to how to create a video sales letter. I don't go quite as in depth as I do inside the course, but I'm going to give you an outline, an example of what it looks like. Or I'm going to talk about an outline of what it looks like. And the difference is, actually, let me ask you. Let you answer the question, and then I'll go in with mine as well. What's the difference between the video sales letter and your presentation?
So the video sales letter, the goal is not to close them in the video sales letter. The goal is to get them on a call with you by building a little bit of trust with them, making them curious what you have that's different than what someone else has, and I'm sure there's other factors. Yeah,
piquing interest, man. You don't go all the way. You don't give away exactly what you're going to do or the exact strategy. You pique their interest and you play, I like to always say, you play psychological warfare with them with every single slide. Every single slide is there for a specific reason. I'll give you guys a quick hint and example because I build these in all different types of stuff. One, you open up with most people's biggest mistake with their video sales letter. They open up and they talk all about them. They talk, I'm this and I did this and I'm sweet and all that. Huge mistake. Gone, boom, they're out. You talk about what they're going to get for watching the video, why they should watch. You promise them one big thing. You talk about something they're going to learn. And then after you promise them something they're going to learn, you talk about what they're going to train on. Then you say, whoa, I get it. I get it. You've heard all this before. You've heard marketers are, blowing smoke up your ass for years. I understand. Just stick with me. And what that's doing, just to give you guys a hint of how you can put these things together, literally psychological warfare, is you're getting them excited, but then their bullshit meter starts going off, right? When you're talking about what they're going to learn and you're promising you're going to teach them how to get all these new customers. And then you acknowledge that. So you're inside their head and they're like, okay, this guy's saying I'm boom. And they don't even realize it's happening. And then you just continue on. And then after that, you talk about you and you put some testimonials in there and then you go through what you're going to go through. One of the big mistakes people always, I'm blah, blah, and I did X, Y, and Z. My qualifications are awesome. It's also a problem that most people do with fucking emails too. Your first email, don't open with how cool you are and all the shit you've done. Talk about how you can help them. And if you can help them, or if they need help with something, that's a huge tip, guys. So that's really the differences, David. One is built to pique interest, to talk a little bit about it and to get them to schedule, or the other one is designed to collect a credit card the minute that you show them the price, right there on the call. Get the credit card right on the call, send it over, all that type of stuff. Let's see here. Nico, so I'm not sure what you're asking here, man. Have you heard enough to make a decision? I'm not sure what that is entailing. I think I saw my Dan Tiemann on here. Yeah, Dan's killing it with his drop-offs. Guys, there's so many ways to get appointments and get sales. It's unbelievable. dropping off letters, calling them the next day, sending Facebook messages the next day. Awesome strategy. So with that, man, Lyle, we got a couple minutes left, dude. I appreciate you taking some time, sharing your story, sharing some great actionable tips, some good things for people here. What I want to ask is, like, what would you tell to people who are still kind of struggling, getting going in regards to steps they can do to kind of, really take off that agency, some things that really clicked for you that helped you, really hit the next level?
One thing, if you have 10 other things in your life right now that you're trying to pursue at the same time, come to the realization that it is impossible to be the master of all trades at the same time, and pick one and run with it. You'll do yourself a huge favor. So that's one thing. The other thing, realize that the numbers we're talking about are actually small. When you realize that they're not that big, especially when you have bigger businesses that are doing like way more than this and it's nothing to them. And the third is try to differentiate yourself by selling something a little different. So you can sell the same thing, but position it differently than anyone else positions it. I literally was on a sales call with a guy and we were almost in the close and he didn't buy because he thought I was selling the exact same thing as another marketer that he was previously with.
Yeah.
He said, this is the same thing, and that didn't work.
Because they don't know a difference. They don't know what different ads look like, and they don't know about the back end and how there's a billion different ways to run a Facebook fucking ad, guys.
Yeah.
By the way, that doesn't mean overwhelm them with back end knowledge, but position yourself differently. I love that. One thing I want to finish on, because I know this is a huge issue for everybody. I can fall victim to it. The grass in this, I think Sam Evans said this. I love this one. I mean, he wasn't the first person to say it, but I heard his concept recently. I love it, about the shiny object syndrome. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. We hear that all the time. The grass is greener where you fucking water it. Everybody thinks that their niche is bad or this other niche is beautiful or that. People overthink this stuff. You don't know what's going to be a good or bad niche until you actually go out there and take action in the marketplace. Like, you just don't. Like, you're going to have to learn. You're going to screw things up. The whole waiting around to get going, getting ready to get ready is just a huge epidemic. When you just take the action, you get after it, you ask people to talk, you ask them if you can help them, like that's what leads to results. And then you take action. I made a big post about this today. You take action, you get feedback, you adjust your action, you get more feedback, and that's it. Life goes in this circle, and eventually you're gonna get there. You're gonna get where you need to go if you just keep moving forward with it. So I love that you brought that up, man. Stay focused. There's so many distractions we have. Like, everybody, I dare you guys to delete like Facebook and Instagram and all this shit from your app, or from your phone for a day and see what happens. Like, we have so many distractions. It's so crazy, guys. So stay focused, continue going on. And the second point you made, Lyle, is also phenomenal. Understand, and you won't truly be able to grasp this until you reach these numbers, but like, you got to understand that, a couple $1,000s a month, it might seem huge, but that's all a mindset thing. It's all a mindset thing. And when you get around people, when you do what happened with you, Lyle, when you showed up the event and you saw us close like $9 grand in a day, you're like, oh shit, what are these guys doing? And the same thing happened to me when I got around people who are doing like $800K a month. And I'm like, fuck, man, what am I doing? It just starts, it builds this belief. So network with people, be around people who are doing bigger things than you, are thinking bigger, cut off all the negativity, cut off the distractions, focus, all that good shit, and grind, guys. Like, none of this works. Nothing will work unless you do. Like, I hate seeing this whole like, oh, I can 4-hour work week. Like, man, there's some good stuff in there, but when you're getting started, you don't know how to fucking work smart. Like, just go work, get some feedback. You know what I mean? So with that, guys, appreciate everyone chiming in here. Love it. Lyle, you're the man, dude. So pumped for you. 28,000.
One more. I just seen a question pop up. How do you deal with person asking for testimonials?
Oh,
let me tell you this, guys. I did the majority of these sales with no testimonials. 0.
Yeah.
Thanks to positioning. The client never even asked. Yep. I have a client in a new industry that I'm about to close, and what he doesn't know is that I never did anything in his industry.
Yep. Positioning also, when you're at, we haven't asked for testimonials in forever, and when you're asked for testimonials, it's because something's missing in the sales process and they can subconsciously feel it. 100%, Sophia. So I'll make sure to take note of that, Sophia, and we'll talk about that when we do the special that's coming up at the end of the month inside the program there. Let's see here. Okay, Frank, what's going on, man? When do we open the course? Actually, next Thursday, man. We are going to be opening it up, and I'm going to be doing something real special. I'll tease this for you guys right now, but we're going to be doing a 6-week. So we're going to have like a short open window, and I'm actually going to be personally coaching a 6-week program where we're going to go every single week. We are going to go week by week and get multiple clients. We're going to work on getting those first couple of clients. The whole program is going to be available. It's built out, but I'm going to be doing a week by week coaching that really cuts out a lot of noise, exactly what we should be doing, exactly how to get the calls. And it's something that I probably won't do again. I don't know if I'll ever, I don't know. I'm not going to be doing it again for a while, but it's going to be really exciting. I'm super pumped because we're going to take a class through. We're going to do 6 weeks of it. And really everything from like getting the right offer down to getting the right niche down to this is exactly what you should be doing to prospect every day. And this is the exact tools that you need. And then once we get those things going, this is the exact way we're going to run the call. And this is what we're going to do. I've got all that information in the course. The course is massive, as Lyle knows. There's a ton of information inside there. It's huge. And it's good for people of all levels as well. I mean, we got our inbound strategy, how I'm getting 8 people inbound every single day. But I'm really excited about this 6-week group coaching thing. And I do live calls pretty much every week anyways, Q&As, stuff like that within the course. But I'm really excited. So yeah, that's when it's opening. Sashin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, man. That's when it'll be open up next Thursday. Stay tuned. We'll know about it. You guys will hear about it here. We're going to do a big webinar next Thursday night. But man, Lyle, you're the man, dude. I really appreciate you jumping on. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait, dude. We're going to get you freaking 6 figures here like soon, man. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do 6-figure months. Sounds like
man. Oh, that's what's happening, bro. That's what I'm saying. 6-figure months, bro. No, we got to think it's 6-figure months. That should be the goal, right? First goal, get to 10K, then to 50K, then to 100. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it. So 50K next.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys. Dan, Teeman, I love you, bro. Let's talk this weekend. I love all you guys, and we'll be back soon. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.